Hello there, welcome to Minifigs in Space. Today, we are going to be reimagining Space Police 3 sets from 2009. My approach in this video is going to be very similar to the Ninjago Legacy sets, where I pull inspiration from past sets and rebuild them from the ground up. As a bonus, 2 of these reimagined sets will be made available for free as downloads, but you get to decide which ones. So feel free to let me know in the comments which ones are your favorite, and we will see which ones will be made available. Without further ado, let's kick it off with the K9 bot. This set is very special to me actually, because it is the first LEGO set that I owned. It was originally designed with a flick fire missile. However, I decided to upgrade it to a stud shooter. Next is Squidman's Escape, which includes a Space Police speeder bike. I wanted to upgrade this bike to have sharper angles, pulling inspiration from wedge-shaped sports cars and the Cybertruck. And this is what came together. As a kid, I lamented that the speeder bike didn't have any rockets attached to it, so for this upgrade I made sure to integrate rockets. I also added a few different elements to it, such as rear fins and radio antennas. Next up is Freeze Ray Frenzy, which includes another speeder bike for the Space Police and also Cranks' motorcycle-styled spacecraft. I not only redesigned the speeder bikes, but I also redesigned the stop sign and the traffic light a little bit, making them look a little bit more detailed and a little taller. The Space Police speeder bike has shrunk in the wash, so to speak. I made it a little bit smaller and more compact, and I think this makes it look a little bit sleeker as well. Next is the Space Biker Leader's vehicle of choice. With this design, it may look a little similar at first to the original concept. However, they since retired the main engine part used for the body where he sat, so I recreated it with parts that were originally made for the X-Wing set. Next up is Gold Haste, which I believe is one of the weakest Space Police sets. Not the weakest, that's coming up next. But with this one, when you look at the vehicle from different angles, it doesn't look that impressive. I don't know if this is much better, but this is my attempt to redeem this set with modern parts. The biggest difference is that I shrunk it down and consolidated the parts a little bit more. I know I was a little harsh with the original set, but the actual outline of the spacecraft is very cool looking. I feel like it narrowed too much in the back compared to the rest of the ship. However, the original ship had a really cool feature that could pick up and deploy a safe, and in this case I had to shrink it down so it doesn't look as good as the original in that regard. Another consequence of me shrinking down the design is that it does not fit a minifigure anymore, so I made a small Space Police robot that can fit into the vehicle. And this is just Frenzy's sidekick. This set is what I believe is the worst Space Police set produced ever. It is not very detailed, and it was on top of that an exclusive LEGO set. Anyway, I should stop complaining and just introduce it to you. It is Squidman's Pitstop. A really cool concept in theory, however, I believe it was poorly executed. It's just blocky, and what little detail there is seems kind of thrown together. This is my shot at reimagining Squidman's Pitstop. My approach with redesigning it was to make it seem more retro-futuristic, in addition to being a little more practical as a repair shop. For example, adding ladders to access the raised platform. The biggest departure from the original design is actually the removal of the right-hand wall, opening it up as another repair bay. The original set had an opening glass roof, and in this case, I made it function as a quick escape route for spacecraft in the repair bay. The original set had a tool rack that could rotate and become a weapon rack. I kept this idea with this tool rack as well, except it flips up, revealing the weapon rack. Yet another feature of the original Pitstop was a secret safe hidden behind a toolbox. The original design required the removal of a tile to access the safe. However, I kind of went to the extreme, upsized the safe, and made it so that it could hinge upwards, revealing the gold bars. Here is a look at the backside. Similar to the original set, the sign can rotate around and has hidden flick fire missiles. And just for fun, since the original set had the first rat mold with it, I used the new rat mold and hid him in the back. And that, my friends, covers half of the first wave of Space Police 3. Technically speaking, this is an experimental video. This was requested by subscriber Ask. If you'd like to see more upgrades of Space Police sets, please let me know in the comments below and I will consider creating a part 2. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing for more exciting LEGO Space content.